Michael Yardney here with our weekly Rich Habits, Poor Habits webcast. Welcome, Tom Corley.
Hey, Michael, it's great to be back.
Now, Tom, last week we started the conversation about being rich is really about two things. We talked about the first part being accumulating wealth, and today I want to talk about keeping wealth. But a lot of the content of this comes from a lot of your work in your Change Your Habits, Change Your Life book, your Rich Habits book, and our joint book, Rich Habits, Poor Habits, which people can get at richhabitspoorhabits.com. You can either get the Kindle version or you can get the hard copy that's going to be delivered anywhere in the world, whether you live in Australia, where I am, or the United States. And it's actually getting quite a lot of traction and a lot of media in the United States, Tom.
Yeah, I love it. I love whenever something good comes along, some idea, and it starts to take off, and we're starting to see that. This book is really unique because it's got you and it's got me, and even though we're in two different parts of the world, we have experienced a lot of the the education that we've had in our lifetimes is very similar, Michael?
Sure. We've been through it and we've mentored people and you've studied it, and as a CPA you see your clients do it as well. Well, Tom, last week we spoke a lot about how to accumulate wealth, or the rich habits that allow you to accumulate wealth. But we also know that people tend not to keep it unless they grow into the person that can keep that wealth. They change their habits. In my words, sometimes they upgrade their wealth operating system to the latest version so they can keep it. So staying rich requires you to forge different specific habits. Tom, tell us a bit about those.
Yeah, so this is really a good point. To accumulate your wealth, you have to have a certain set of habits. To keep your wealth, you also have to have a certain set of habits. If you're lacking the habits that you need to keep your wealth, all of that hard work goes out the window, Michael? So what you want to do, one of the first things I talk about in my research is to keep your wealth, you've got to really put it to work. You can't just spend it or just hand it off to someone and hope and pray. You've got to actually get involved and kind of understand where your money's going. You've got to invest it wisely, maybe get involved in diversifying it by buying real estate, stocks, bonds. You can even invest in businesses. There's angel investors do this all the time. You can become an angel investor in small businesses and let somebody else do all the work while you are a silent partner.
So really what you've got to do is make your money work for you so you don't have to work. And I often say, if your money's not working for you when you're asleep, you'll never become rich. So one of the things you have to do is become financially fluent and understand the way that the tax system works, the finance system works, the legal system works with regard to investment. And sure, you need advisors to help you with that, but you also have to become fluent so you know the right questions to ask your advisors. The next thing, Tom, is you actually have to build a retirement fund, don't you?
Yeah, this really should be a major priority. Just like for, let's say, saving for college for your kids, this has got to be even more important than that, because when you retire, your kids are probably going to have families of their own, kids of their own. They're not going to be able to help mom and dad in retirement while they're trying to save money for their kids' college. So you've got to really make retirement funding a priority. And the way to do this is to save 10 to 20%. This is all part of your overall savings, the 10 to 20% that the self-made millionaires engaged in my Rich Habits research. They also earmarked part of their savings for retirement funds.
Let's be clear, you don't actually have to retire. You'll find a lot of wealthy people don't actually retire. In many ways, it's a middle class concept. But they work because they want to work, not because they have to. So I think we should make that clear about retirement also. It doesn't mean you're going to sit on the beach, but if you want to, you can.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. It really is a middle class concept because most of the people in the middle class hate their jobs. So the sooner they retire, the better. And if you're in that category, I'm not knocking you. It's probably 95% of the population. My point is, if you're in that category, you better start saving for retirement, because otherwise you're going to be doing that job that you hate into your 70s and never really have an opportunity to enjoy life.
Well, the government can't afford to support us with the pension systems anywhere around the world at the moment. So I think one of the things I've noticed, Tom, though, is as people's income goes up and as they develop a bit of wealth, they tend to spend more. All of a sudden you need a bigger car, you need an SUV because the people down the road have got one. Holidays in the local area aren't good enough anymore. You've got to go overseas. There's nothing wrong with that, but you really need to know where your money goes. Otherwise, you end up spending more than you earn.
Yeah, this particular topic goes by many names. I like to call it lifestyle creep. You increase your spending in proportion to the increase in your income. This also goes by the name of the Pygmalion effect, which is and Thoreau, they call it the Thoreau effect. It goes by many names, but the point is that if you're not careful, you're going to become a victim of this lifestyle creep. You're going to increase your spending to meet your income. You're going to buy that nicer car. You're going to supersize the house when the old house will do. You'll get new furniture, nicer clothes. Let's go on a couple of vacations. It's so easy to be lulled into a sense of security when your income goes up, so you increase your spending.
Now, of course, you should enjoy the journey. If you don't enjoy the journey, you're not going to enjoy the destination. So I don't think either of us are suggesting you shouldn't improve your lifestyle. Tom, I think what you're suggesting is you still have to live below your means, and you still have to set aside an amount of your newer, higher income and wealth and reinvest it into your future and your family's future. Because I think for most of your clients and mine, Tom, they don't actually only want to grow wealth or protect it. They want to pass it on to future generations. Yeah,
it's a legacy. I mean, I talk about this a lot in the media, the story about the self-made millionaire who had $17 million and he was 68 years old. And I asked him, why do you keep working? And he said, because I make $1 million a year and I can make another $5 million if I keep working, and I'll pass to my grandkids and my kids.
Well, in my blended family, I've got 6 kids and 10 grandkids, and I'm now helping with the schools piece for not my kids are all out of school now for the grandkids. The generations go on, but as you said earlier on, it's just so hard for people, the younger generations, to get a house or pay for school fees. So I'm in a very fortunate position, and it's very nice to be able to do that. Tom, that also means that maybe you should still be a little bit cautious about those emotional or impulse spends, if you want to say spend below your means.
Yeah, this is why grocery stores, by the way, Michael, put all of those things right by the checkout counter, because they know that people are impulse spenders, and they'll see something that they really don't need. But they know this. The marketers know that the subconscious kind of takes over, and the next thing you know, you're grabbing, that $100,000 bar or that $3 magazine or whatever. So you have to really you have to be aware that it is human nature to engage in impulse spending and spontaneous spending. Once you're aware of it, that's when you can shut it down. So, when you see something that you become emotionally attached to, a car or a house, this is part of human nature. It's your emotions are driving this impulse that you feel about the house or the car or whatever. So you've got to know, once you're aware of it, you can shut it down. If you're not aware of it, then you're going to just engage in it, and your money's going to go out the window.
Well, Tom, thank you. I think this has been a really good 2 sessions. And for our viewers, if you didn't watch the one last week, go back to the previous episode, because what we really came up with was the concept that being rich is a 2-step process. The first step is accumulating wealth, which we discussed last week. And today we discussed the concept of keeping wealth. If you've got some benefit from this, please pass it forward. Tom and I are trying to pass this information on to make more people financially fluent, because we believe that the way to make the world a better place is to make everyone wealthier. And in the countries we live in, Tom, we're living at the best time of the world, of existence, in the best countries in the world. Everyone's got the right to become wealthy. Everyone's got the ability to, if they learn how to do it.
Yeah, we are so lucky, Michael. That's such a great point. We live in, the United States and Australia, and I think the UK falls in that category as well, and some other countries. We just happen to be very fortunate that we have stable governments, stable economies.
I'm not even going to go there, Tom.
But we're lucky. It's
compared to other countries, we do. We are lucky. And we have security problems and terrorist problems and economic problems, but we have to be grateful. We've got to appreciate it. And I guess my point was, if our viewers could pass this forward by sending it through Facebook, Twitter, whatever, or going to our blogs individually and finding out more about what we do, that'd be great. So, Tom, I look forward to catching up with you next week and having another session.
Me too, Michael. I can't wait to talk to you.